Japan, the land of the rising sun, a place which some people would describe as a utopian world with low crime rate and great opportunities. It was my lifelong dream to integrate myself into such a society, but what was it actually like? Was it everything I imagined? What did I learn from my experience? First of all, no one is perfect. I'm not, and I never will be, but I can work on myself to become the best version I possibly can. That's why I love traveling, because it expands your mind. You are able to learn from different cultures and apply it to your own life. I believe Japan is a unique country and there's so much to learn from Japan itself. So I broke it down into categories to go through with you. First of all, organization and timekeeping. Organization and timekeeping is one of my biggest flaws. Japan itself is a land of organization, but it's not as technologically advanced as you think it is. For example, you get bloody robots at a robot restaurant and it serves you food, but then they're still using fax machines. Who uses fax? Like, really, who uses fax? All the documents you're given from work are not emailed to you, sometimes, but most of the time, they're given to you by hand. Yeah, waste of paper in my opinion. Waste of paper, and you get tons of it. Me being an unorganized mess, not so much anymore, but still need a bit of work. It was difficult to keep everything intact, and I feel that has helped me become more organized. Trains are always on time. People are hardly ever late to things. There's some respect. If you're late, you're taking up someone else's time. And things like doctor's appointments are so fast. Literally, I took a book with me, yeah, and I sat down to wait. I thought, you know, in England, you can wait up to an hour to see a doctor. And I was waiting with my book, open my book, I'm about to read one page, bang, I'm in, like 30 seconds, that's all it took. Although it's frustrating sometimes to have everything on time, because you have to be on time, there's no excuse, and you have to be organized, there's no excuse. Everyone else is doing it, so why can't you do it? And it can be stressful, but it forces you to organize your time and remember things a bit more and be more attentive. And yeah, sometimes I found it difficult, but it's definitely something that has benefited me and will continue to benefit me, because that's the mindset I have now. I have to put everything in its place. I'm still learning to rewire my brain a little bit to cope with the organizations, but these skills I can take into, you know, my videos, my job, and my career pursuits. You know, they're valuable, and I could see it as something that's a bit frustrating, but you know, this is what keeps Japan ticking. This is why there's no frustrations. When you want to go somewhere, you know there's not going to be a train strike and the trains are not going to be running like it does in England. There's some consistency and reliability within the culture. In Japan, there's a deeper sense of appreciation for duty and material objects. A lot of Japanese mentality and philosophy comes from two religions, which is Shintoism and Buddhism. Specifically Shintoism, they believe that there's kami in all objects in the world. So kami is basically like God. You can call it spirit. Obviously we have spirit in us, but they also believe that there's spirit in objects. So that's why they take care of things so nicely. If you go to the house, everything is intact, everything is in order. They take real care over the material possessions. In all honesty, I don't do sometimes. Sometimes I just throw my phone on the bed and just dash it. There's no real care, there's no real gratitude for the things that you have. You're almost ungrateful for all the things you have. So, you know, material objects don't matter too much, but you do have them over other people that wish they could have them. I know it doesn't affect them directly. Knowing the value of something and looking after it properly with gratitude is a nice thing to do, and it just makes you a bit more fortunate for the things that you do have in life. The cleanliness of the country is immaculate. I was shocked when I came back to England. I was like, oh, everything's dirty. You know, I have a big problem with going to the toilet. Going to the toilet in public is a big issue for me. I normally hold it. This is number 2, not number 1. Number 2, I normally hold it till I get home and I do the business at home. If I'm desperate, I'll go. But other than that, I'm like, nah, I'm not risking it, man. I'm not risking it. Not with these animals about. But in Japan, we're not animals, it's a joke. We kind of are animals, we're mammals. In Japan, you can go to the airport toilet. Picture this, imagine going to the toilet in Gatwick Airport or Heathrow Airport. Good heavens, that is my worst nightmare. But for example, in Kansai Airport in Osaka, the toilets, you could eat your food off of the toilet. I'm not even joking. It's so clean. It's so clean. No stains, nothing. And you know, that's something I miss right now. That's something I really do miss right now. It's just like, for the next person that goes in, clean up your mess, mate. Clean up your mess. It's not hard. Like, why would you let someone else suffer? Why would you just leave it there? I'm lost for words why people do that. It's just disgusting. You all probably know this one. It's really rare to see rubbish on the floor. Super rare. I was shocked when I went to Tokyo. Tokyo, the biggest metropolitan city in the world. The biggest metropolitan city in the world. Let that sink in, yeah? No rubbish in sight. No rubbish in sight. Maybe you get the occasional rapper, someone's dropped something. I watched someone drop dropped a crisp packet or something by accident, and the next person came along and picked it up and put it in the bin. It wasn't even his rubbish. It's that collective society, they're all looking out for each other. Sometimes it's a bit extreme compared to England in terms of when you go to the doctors, when you go to school, or when you go to the gym, you have to take indoor shoes. So you have to take indoor shoes with you, can't wear your outdoor shoes. You know, that got me paying for many pairs of shoes as I got there. I didn't know this. So I went to Japan with one pair of shoes, yeah, trainers that I thought I could do everything in. They were meant to be multi-purpose trainers, so I could go to a restaurant in them, eat in them, walk in them, everything. But I got to Japan, I started working, and they were like, okay, you need to buy some shoes for the school. I was like, okay, everyone was wearing slippers and that, so I got some slippers, and then I signed up to the gym. And they were like, no, you need to buy some trainers. You can't wear your outdoor shoes in here. So I was like, I can't wear my slippers in there. I can't really run in slippers. I can probably lift weights in slippers, but it's not practical. So I bought some running shoes, like some gym trainers. So it all stacked up a little bit in price, and it's like, I need to keep my money, but it is what it is. So if you are looking to move to Japan, just take shoes for everything you can think of. This kind of links in with the organization. I'm trying to be more clean and tidy. I would say I'm a clean person, but I can be a bit untidy, a bit messy. I leave stuff everywhere. It's teaching me to be a bit more present when I'm doing things. Like I said before, I can be in my head sometimes, and I need to be present when I'm doing things. Think of the action that I'm actually doing. Remember to do it. Don't just leave stuff everywhere and think about it later. So I think, yeah, just keeping me present is the main thing Japan is teaching me. Present when I don't want to be. Present in the little tasks. I can be present when I'm editing a video. I can be present when I'm playing football. I can be present when I'm talking to someone. Being present when I'm washing the dishes. Being present when I'm folding clothes. All I'm thinking in my head, oh, this is long, oh man, I can't wait for this to finish. But I need to cut that out and just focus on the task, be done with it. The main reason why I actually went to Japan and wanted to see and witness is collectivism. We live in a kind of individualistic society. I don't even know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. We perform as individuals. We just look out for ourselves and try and get more money, get a better job. And Japan is kind of like that. It's the same in that sense. Everyone's working for themselves, but there's a whole collective and understanding and social rules that they all work together and obey. It creates this kind of utopian society that I'm talking about. It's not quite utopian. There's a lot of problems in Japan too, but they have definitely done a good job at keeping things like crime rate down and overall safety of the country and cleanliness. They keep it in tip-top shape. One thing is that you can leave your laptop in a coffee shop, go to the toilet, go outside and come back. Your laptop will still be there. Your laptop, no one's gonna steal it. People are watching out for you, and you know, it's really not a big deal to leave expensive things on the table and come back and they're still there. If you're in South London, it's gonna get robbed in an instant, but you might sneeze and it goes. You know, it might be gone. You go, oh shit, where's my phone? There was one time where I left my wallet in a restaurant and the waitress ran after me, literally sprinted out. I was like, "Sumimasen! Sumimasen! Anata no saifu." I was like, oh, arigatou gozaimasu, thank you. And that's amazing. She sprinted out of the blocks to try and catch me, to give me my wallet back. And I think that's amazing. It's just nice, you know, that people are trying to help you out on your journey. It's just a sense of awareness for other people. On the trains, you're not meant to be loud. Obviously you can speak. People say you have to be silent. You don't have to be silent, just quiet voice, talking. When you walk through the city, like Tokyo, like I said, huge, massive city. It hasn't got that noise of London. And I'm not saying noise is a bad thing or noise is a good thing. It's all subjective, right? It depends what kind of person you are. The Japanese mentality is that you don't want to bother other people. And this can go too much the wrong way as well. Like you're just in your head about what other people think and you're trying to not break the code, but you're genuinely a good person, but you're scared of breaking the code, annoying people. So it can go the wrong way, but I like the thoughtfulness around it of don't want to disturb other people, appreciate people's space, appreciate people's time, appreciate people's boundaries as well. You can get into a space where, oh, am I annoying people? Am I doing the right thing? You're like walking on eggshells a little bit, but you gotta take it with a pinch of salt. It depends how your mentality is. At the same time, you gotta think, all right, is what I'm doing really annoying, or people need to chill out a little bit as well? People are generally really polite. People say this about English people as well, because we're kind of the same. We're kind of polite to the face. If you've seen Peep Show, you know what I'm talking about. They say one thing out of their mouth, but they're thinking a different thing. I think it's kind of similar in Japan, where you have a code of politeness, and it is nice, but sometimes it can come across disingenuine. Obviously, not all people, but I feel like some people are forcing it just because they have to, not because they want to. So with this collectivism idea, there's still a lot of status that goes into it. So someone older than you have to do a lot of work for. You kind of got to give more respect to them. Also for your boss and for your company. And this is where the Japanese working culture comes into play, where people are overworked. You know, you can't say no. You're stuck in the system where you can't say no. You just have to do whatever the boss says and work. You need to work. There's no rebelling against the kaisha, the company. You just have to do it. I have friends, Japanese friends, that just say, oh, I'm working so much, I'm working too much. It's kind of sad a little bit, but you know, there's no yin without yang. I think a utopian society in the world we're living in is pretty impossible, but we can try and make it the best we can. It can be really, really bad, or it can be fairly bad. Which one would you prefer? We're not perfect, so how can we make the world perfect? I don't think it's an achievable thing, but we can make the world better for sure. Another thing I liked about Japan, and I noticed in myself, I was walking everywhere. Physical activity was just the norm in Japan. I wouldn't even say they're conscious about their health. They might be subconsciously, it might be just part of their culture. But everyone's active. No one really drives. People do drive if they're far away, but the metro system is so good that they're able to commute to work through the metro, which normally is added with a long walk to the metro. People ride bikes a lot. You see little oba-chan, grandma on bikes, zooming past you. They're the most dangerous, you know. If you've ever been to Amsterdam, yeah, you know what the bikes are like. You're dodging bikes like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Japan is the same. Osaka's the same. I think Tokyo is the same as well. They just go vroom. They got like babies on the front and babies on the back, yeah, and they're just going full pelt, like swerving through people. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a health and safety hazard. No helmets either. No helmets. I'm like, wow, bro. All it takes is just, that's it. They can even attach umbrellas to the bike. But yeah, they got it all sorted. So if it's raining, they just pop an umbrella and it just covers their head and they cycle. We just get soaked. What are we doing? Why are we just getting soaked in the rain for no reason when we don't have to? My favorite thing in Japan that I've learned about is the amount of sports facilities you can have in a country. The amount of sports you can choose from is unbelievable. And you know, we got a lot of sports here in England, but access to the sports is quite difficult. For example, in England, I want to play football twice a week. If I want to do that, I have to find a group of friends, yeah, and then hire a court with them. Bro, who knows 22 people that you want to play football with right now? How can you, when everyone's working, everyone's busy, how do you get 22, or even if it's 5-a-side, even 10 people is quite difficult with different jobs, you know? It's a hard thing to do when you're older. They have this thing called individual monkey. You just go to the nearest football pitch. I'm just using football as an example. You just go to the closest football pitch. Well, prior to that, you have to book your slot online. You choose the time, whatever. But you can go as an individual and play with people that you've never met before. And you can also, if you've got friends, 3 or 4 friends you want to go with, they book it as well and you go together. That is amazing. That is amazing. So, and they got time slots throughout the day. It's not just once in the day, it's every day. I think there was like a Wednesday is the day off, but pretty much every day you can book at pretty much most times, yeah, a slot to play football with, and there will be people there. If we want like kids off the street in England, if we want crime rate to go down, it is the easiest thing to do. And if we put money into it, if our government puts money into it, do the same system as Japan. People love football here, you know? People love sports here, and it gets people from doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Drug use will go down, crime rate will go down, yeah? They'll have options to go and do stuff and be active and swap it with something healthier. And another thing about it, it's also accessible for everyone. So it can be daunting if you want to play a new sport, or you just like a sport like me. I've gotten better at football. I wouldn't even say I'm bad at football anymore, but before I went to Japan, I was pretty bad at football, probably lacking confidence, didn't play it regularly. I was always a bit anxious about playing with really good people. But in Japan, they basically do half and half. So they call something called tanoshi, which means fun in Japan, and gachi, I don't know what gachi means, but it's basically for the hardcore players. And you can choose which side you want to go to. If there's not enough people in the tanoshi side, in the fun side, they get people from the gachi side to play. And this links in with collectivism. So the people from the gachi side, who are really good at football, will just lower their level to play with the fun people. They won't try hard, they'll just take it easy, which is a really nice gesture, really nice thing to do, and makes people feel comfortable and involved, and it gives the people that aren't typically good at the sport a time to socialize and have fun with everyone. So it's nice to have that option. It's nice to mix with different people, and as a foreigner, this is an easy way to make friends. It's an easy way to use Japanese. I really recommend it if you go over there to just join a club. I don't know many foreigners that do it actually. I'm the only guy there. I'm the only foreigner there, so I don't know why people don't do it. Maybe they do in different areas, but hands down, it's the best way to meet. You say Japanese people aren't friendly, you go to one of these places and you'll see how friendly they are. They might not approach you, get talking, speak Japanese, and then they'll come. It's not just football, by the way. Basketball, netball, baseball. Or think of a sport that you want to do. What's the one? The squash. And these facilities are literally everywhere. They're located everywhere. Like, I mean, went to like 3, 4, 5 different places near where I live. We love football here, and they had more football options in Japan. Their number one sport is baseball. Football's probably second, but flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted by that one. Yeah, that's it for today's video. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. As always, stay blessed.